The vastness of space stretched endlessly, a dark ocean speckled with distant stars. Amid this silence, a fleet of alien vessels moved with grace and precision. Sleek, shining ships glided effortlessly, leaving trails of energy behind them. These were the finest warships the alien race had ever built, the pride of their fleet. Each ship was designed for speed, for power, for dominance. Nothing in the galaxy could match them, at least, that was what they believed. On the bridge of the largest alien command ship, the commanders watched the sensors carefully. Their sharp eyes detected a single blip on the edge of their territory, a ship slowly approaching, unlike anything they had seen before. The readings were unusual. It was big, far bigger than the usual scout or transport vessels. But it moved deliberately, almost lazily, as if it had no sense of danger or urgency. The sensors could not hide the truth: the human ship was lumbering, slow compared to the alien sleek designs. A wave of laughter echoed through the command chamber. One of the alien officers, a tall being with silver blue scales and eyes like molten metal, leaned over the display. "Look at it," he hissed with amusement. "That primitive thing calls itself a warship? It moves slower than a space slug crawling through nebulae. How can it even survive out here?" Other officers chuckled, some shaking their heads in disbelief. "Perhaps it is more of a floating rock than a weapon," said another. "Surely, it cannot pose any threat to us. We could destroy it before it reaches our outer defenses." The aliens' amusement filled the chamber. They began to mock the humans openly, speaking in rapid bursts of their own language, their words sharp and confident. To them, the humans were fragile and clumsy, overestimating themselves in a galaxy where speed and technology ruled. The idea that this slow, awkward ship could be dangerous was almost laughable. Yet, as the laughter died down, the commanders ordered the sensors to continue monitoring. Curiosity mixed with their arrogance. After all, even if it was slow, it was unusual for a ship to travel alone through the dangerous expanse of their space. A real warship, they thought, would move with purpose and precision, not meandering through the void like a drifting comet. Meanwhile, aboard the human vessel, the crew worked quietly. The ship itself was large, certainly less sleek than the alien fleet, but its design had purpose. It was built for endurance, for strength, for strategies that the aliens could not immediately understand. Within the hull, engineers monitored every system, watching energy flows, shields, and weapons readiness. Nothing was left to chance. The captain of the human ship, a seasoned officer with sharp eyes and calm demeanor, moved through the bridge with quiet authority. He didn't speak loudly or waste words on theatrics. His crew trusted him because he was steady, because he had seen battles before and understood patience was often the greatest weapon. He looked at the approaching fleet on the display, noting their speed and formation. "They're confident," he said softly, almost to himself, but the tactical officer caught his words. "Confident, yes," she replied. "And overconfident. That will be their mistake." In the alien fleet, the laughter had reached its peak. They called the humans foolish, ridiculing the size of the ship and its slow pace. One officer even bet that they could destroy it with a single coordinated strike before it even reached their main fleet. The command chamber was filled with arrogance, a tangible energy of superiority. But the humans, though aware of the aliens, made no attempt to show fear or excitement. They followed their protocols, their movements precise and measured. Every member of the crew knew the ship's strengths and weaknesses, and more importantly, they knew the aliens underestimated them. That was a quiet but powerful advantage. Outside, the human ship continued to glide through space, its large engines humming steadily. The ship didn't need to rush, speed was not its weapon. Its bulk might seem clumsy, but inside, it held weapons, shields, and strategies that the aliens could not yet comprehend. Every piece of its design was deliberate, every maneuver calculated. To an observer who only valued speed, it looked like a mistake. To those who understood patience and precision, it was a fortress on the move. Back in the alien fleet, discussions shifted from mockery to strategy, but still with a confident air. "Let us encircle it," one commander suggested. "Show it our superiority. It will surrender or be destroyed within moments." Another officer agreed, already imagining the celebrations of victory that would follow. They did not notice how the human ship maintained a steady course, seemingly indifferent to their tactics, as if it had anticipated every move. For the humans, anticipation was not about fear but about observation. Sensors picked up every flicker of alien movement, every signal pattern, every energy signature. The captain's eyes traced the formations on the holographic display. "They are confident," he said again, this time aloud to the bridge crew. "That confidence will blind them to the danger." The crew shared quiet glances, a mix of focus and silent understanding. There was no shouting, no panic. Each of them knew that patience and precision would be far more powerful than recklessness. The human warship might appear slow, but it moved with purpose. And that purpose, though invisible to the aliens, carried a weight they could not yet measure. Hours passed in this silent tension. The alien fleet continued to close in, performing complex maneuvers meant to intimidate. Their ships created dazzling displays of speed and light, performing loops and dives that seemed impossible to human eyes. But the human ship remained steady, following its course without deviation, seemingly unaffected. The alien commanders whispered among themselves, still underestimating their opponent. "What is this? It does not flee, it does not panic. It dares to ignore us," one said, puzzled. "How foolish they are," another replied, but beneath the words was a hint of unease, a small seed planted by the human's unwavering composure. In the bridge of the human ship, the captain watched quietly. He had seen enough in his life to know that arrogance often led to mistakes. The aliens were confident, almost careless, and he intended to use that to his advantage. "Steady," he said. "Maintain course and readiness. Let them believe they are in control." The crew followed their orders, every hand on the bridge performing its task with precision. Engineers adjusted energy flows, shields were calibrated to perfection, and tactical officers ran simulations in real time. Each action was small on its own but formed part of a larger, invisible strategy. The human ship, slow and seemingly cumbersome, was alive with potential. As the alien fleet closed the distance, the tension grew. In the command chamber, officers leaned forward, unable to believe the audacity of the humans. "They are daring to approach us without fear," said one, voice tight with amusement and disbelief. "Do they not understand what they face?" The captain of the human ship, standing calmly on the bridge, did not answer aloud. He did not need to. His crew understood. They had trained for this moment, prepared for the ridicule and for the challenge. Their ship might appear slow and unassuming, but it was a weapon, a fortress, a silent storm waiting to strike. And as the stars stretched endlessly around them, both fleets moved closer to the inevitable confrontation. One side filled with arrogance and mockery, believing speed and appearance made them invincible. The other, composed and deliberate, ready to show that patience, precision, and hidden strength could overcome any illusion of superiority. In this silent prelude, the stage was set. Laughter and scorn filled one bridge, quiet focus and purpose filled the other. Neither side knew how the encounter would end, but one fact remained certain: appearances could be deceiving, and sometimes the slowest ship, the one mocked and underestimated, could carry the power to change everything. The human warship glided steadily through the endless void of space, its massive frame casting a shadow against distant stars. Inside, the hum of machinery filled the corridors, a rhythm familiar and comforting to the crew. Unlike the alien fleet, whose speed and light dazzled like a storm of energy, the human ship moved with calm purpose. Its pace was deliberate, almost meditative, as though the ship itself understood the gravity of the situation. The bridge, the heart of the ship, was alive with quiet activity. Every crew member had a role, and every role mattered. The captain, a veteran of countless encounters in space, stood at the center, observing the sensors with unwavering focus. His eyes were sharp, scanning every detail of the approaching alien fleet. Despite their numbers and their apparent superiority, he remained calm. Confidence did not come from arrogance, it came from preparation and experience. The tactical officer, a young but exceptionally skilled woman named Lyra, moved between stations, checking readings and coordinating minor adjustments. Her movements were precise, reflecting both training and instinct. She knew that every maneuver, every calculation, could make the difference between survival and disaster. The human ship might seem slow and cumbersome from the outside, but inside, it was a hive of efficiency. Below the bridge, the engineering section buzzed with activity. Engineers monitored the ship's core systems, adjusting energy flows to maintain optimal performance. Every weapon system, shield generator, and propulsion unit was checked and double-checked. The ship was old by alien standards, but it had been upgraded repeatedly, strengthened with innovations that combined human ingenuity and resilience. The engineers smiled quietly at their work, knowing that each adjustment added to the ship's hidden power. In the communications room, officers intercepted alien transmissions, noting patterns in their speech and energy signatures. The aliens were confident, perhaps too confident. Their messages carried arrogance, mocking the humans for the ship's apparent slowness and for daring to approach their territory. But the crew of the human ship did not react with anger or fear. Instead, they analyzed every message, every signal, searching for weaknesses in the alien formation. The captain finally spoke, his voice calm but commanding. "They are confident," he said. "And that confidence will be their undoing. Stay vigilant, but do not waste energy reacting to their taunts. They underestimate us, and that is an advantage we must use." Lyra nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical displays. "Understood, Captain. Sensors indicate their formations are rigid. They are relying on speed and numbers rather than strategy. That rigidity can be exploited." The crew exchanged glances, a silent acknowledgement of the task ahead. They had trained for this moment, preparing for encounters where humans were outmatched by speed, technology, or numbers. Yet every simulation had emphasized one truth: the human advantage lay not in brute force but in precision, adaptability, and creativity. They were not the fastest, but they were clever, disciplined, and prepared for the unexpected. In the alien fleet, the commanders continued their mocking discussions. "Watch how slowly they move," said one officer, eyes glinting with amusement. "Surely, they will tire before reaching our main defenses. We could destroy them with a single wave of energy." Another officer laughed. "It is almost insulting. Their arrogance is matched only by their ignorance. A human ship cannot pose a threat to us." Back on the human warship, the crew ignored the mockery. They did not need to respond to arrogance. Their weapons, their systems, and their strategy would speak louder than words. Sensors detected the alien fleet closing in, their formation spreading like a net across space. The aliens moved with confidence, certain that their speed and numbers would overwhelm the slow-moving human ship. The captain walked along the bridge, stopping briefly at the tactical officer's station. "Have we identified their weak points?" he asked. "Yes, Captain," Lyra replied. "Their energy distribution is focused on speed. Shields are lighter on the flanks, and their weapons are designed for fast strikes, not sustained attacks. If we can hold position and strike precisely, we can inflict serious damage." The captain nodded, his expression unreadable. "Good. Patience, then. We wait for the right moment." Meanwhile, the alien fleet moved as expected, confident that the human ship could not react quickly to their maneuvers. Their ships danced and twisted through space, firing test beams and performing complex acrobatics intended to intimidate. But the human vessel remained steady, its massive bulk seemingly unaffected by the displays of speed and power. To an alien observer, the humans appeared slow, almost careless. Yet inside, the crew was calculating every possibility, every angle, every outcome. The human engineers made subtle adjustments, rerouting energy to reinforce shields where necessary and powering hidden weapon systems into readiness. Every action was invisible to the aliens but essential to the humans' plan. They understood that the battle ahead would not be won through speed but through precise timing and coordination. In the mess hall, a few crew members shared quiet conversation. "They think we are slow and weak," one said, sipping a hot beverage. "If only they knew what we're capable of." Another smiled. "Let them mock us. Confidence can blind even the cleverest. When the time comes, they won't see it coming." The human ship's design was itself a testament to strategy over appearance. Its bulk allowed for larger shields, heavier weapons, and reinforced hulls. It was not built for quick maneuvers but for endurance and deadly precision. The aliens had judged it based on speed alone, failing to see the potential hidden beneath the surface. The captain returned to the bridge center, his gaze fixed on the stars ahead. "They are closing," he said. "Remember, the slower we appear, the more they underestimate us. That will be our advantage. Stay ready, stay calm, and execute your roles perfectly." The crew tightened their focus. Each officer understood their part in the larger strategy, and each engineer knew how small adjustments could change the outcome of a battle. The human ship may have looked slow and vulnerable, but it was a fortress in motion, alive with careful calculation and quiet strength. Outside, the stars shifted as the alien fleet advanced. They continued their mocking displays, confident that speed and intimidation would force a surrender or destroy the humans outright. Yet, even as they laughed and maneuvered, a small undercurrent of unease began to ripple through some officers. There was something about the humans' calmness that did not fit the pattern they expected. Inside, the human crew sensed nothing but purpose. Sensors tracked every alien movement, predicting trajectories and energy outputs. Tactical simulations ran in real time, overlaying potential outcomes for every action the aliens might take. Engineers adjusted power distribution to optimize shields and weapon systems. And the captain, ever steady, observed it all, knowing that the ship and its crew were prepared for the moment when precision would replace speed, when careful calculation would outweigh raw power. Time stretched as both fleets moved closer. The aliens, certain of an easy victory, continued their displays, their laughter echoing across space. The humans, patient and deliberate, held their positions, their calm a quiet but powerful presence. Every crew member knew that their apparent slowness was part of the strategy, that patience and preparation would turn the tide when the moment came. The tactical officer adjusted the displays, highlighting points of vulnerability in the alien formation. "Captain, if we hold our position just a little longer, we can target multiple weak points simultaneously," she said. The captain nodded. "Then we wait. Let them continue to underestimate us. Every move they make now strengthens our position." As the alien fleet continued its confident approach, one commander's eyes narrowed. "Why do they not respond? Why do they not flee?" he asked. "Surely, no species would have the courage to approach us so deliberately." Another officer shrugged. "Perhaps they are foolish, or perhaps, they know something we do not. Either way, it will not save them." The human crew did not hear these words, nor did they need to. They did not need to know the aliens' thoughts. Their focus was on preparation, on precision, on the silent promise that their ship, slow and seemingly unthreatening, was ready to reveal its true power when the time came. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and the distance between the two fleets grew smaller. The aliens moved with speed and confidence, while the humans advanced deliberately, their ship a massive, silent presence. The stage was set for the encounter, and though neither side could see the outcome yet, one fact was clear: appearances could be deceiving, and patience, precision, and preparation often held the true power. In the quiet of the human bridge, the captain spoke once more. "Remember this," he said, voice calm but firm. "We are not here to match speed with speed. We are here to show that discipline, ingenuity, and patience can overcome even the most arrogant force. Do not rush. Do not falter. Our time will come." And with that, the human crew continued their steady glide through space, a massive, slow-moving ship that hid deadly potential beneath its unassuming exterior. They knew that the aliens mocked them, believed they were inferior, and that arrogance would be the enemy's greatest weakness. Patience, focus, and readiness would turn the tide when the moment arrived. The human ship moved onward, carrying its crew toward the unknown, toward the confrontation that would test courage, skill, and intelligence. And though the aliens laughed and mocked, the humans remained calm, confident that their strategy, hidden power, and unyielding focus would soon reveal a truth that no one in the galaxy would forget. The alien fleet had closed the distance, and the dark expanse of space around the human warship seemed to hum with tension. The alien ships glimmered like polished shards of metal, their energy cores casting sharp light across the void. Each vessel moved with confidence, performing intricate maneuvers designed to intimidate and confuse. To any observer, the humans should have been panicking. They should have been attempting to flee. But instead, the human ship maintained its steady course, moving deliberately as if it were aware of something the aliens could not see. On the alien command ship, officers leaned over their displays, whispering and pointing at the human vessel. "It has not responded to our approaches," one officer said, a note of irritation creeping into his tone. "It continues its slow advance as if mocking us." Another replied, "Perhaps it does not understand the danger it faces. Or perhaps, it is foolish." Laughter followed, but there was a subtle tension beneath it. Confidence was giving way to curiosity. Inside the human warship, the bridge was calm, organized, and focused. Sensors tracked every movement of the alien ships, calculating their trajectories, energy outputs, and weak points. The captain's eyes were steady on the main display, scanning each formation, noting patterns in the aliens' movements. Nothing escaped his notice, not the subtle shifts in energy, not the small adjustments in speed, not the alien confidence that could easily be exploited. "Captain, Lyra," the tactical officer, said quietly, "their weapons are designed for quick strikes. They are relying entirely on speed and surprise. Their formations are tight, almost predictable. If we maintain this position, we can create openings for a counterattack." The captain nodded. "Good. Make sure all stations are ready. Do not show haste or fear. Let them believe they have the advantage. That advantage will be their undoing." In the alien fleet, the mockery had reached its peak. Officers openly commented on the human slowness, ridiculing the size of their ship and its lack of agility. One officer even remarked, "It is almost insulting that a species so primitive dares to approach us. They should have fled long ago. Their bravery or their ignorance is amusing." The room was filled with laughter, a sound meant to reinforce superiority and morale. But even as they mocked, some officers could not ignore the humans' calm. There was a strange, unsettling precision to their movements. Below the human bridge, the engineers monitored the ship's energy flows. Every shield was reinforced, every weapon system was checked, and hidden capabilities were brought online. The ship's size, which the aliens mocked, allowed for larger energy reserves, heavier weaponry, and stronger defenses. To the aliens, it was slow and cumbersome. To the humans, it was a fortress, a precise instrument of strategic power, capable of inflicting damage far beyond what appearances suggested. The communications room intercepted alien chatter, analyzing tone and inflection. The humans noticed confidence slipping slightly in certain officers, a minor but crucial signal. The aliens were beginning to underestimate but also overthink the slow approach of the human ship. Small cracks appeared in their arrogance, just enough for the humans to exploit later. "Captain," Lyra said, studying the tactical displays, "they are maintaining their formation, but they are rigid. They rely on predictable patterns and speed. Any sudden deviation or unexpected action could catch them off guard." The captain's lips curved into a small, controlled smile. "Then we wait. Patience is our weapon, precision our tool. Their arrogance blinds them, we will use that to our advantage." The alien fleet moved with speed, their ships twisting and weaving through space, firing minor test beams intended to gauge the humans' response. The energy beams sizzled past the human warship, harmless against the carefully calibrated shields. The humans did not flinch, did not overreact. Their steady pace, deliberate adjustments, and calm focus created the illusion of vulnerability. Meanwhile, some alien officers whispered doubts. Why do they not respond? Why do they not evade? Are they confident or simply unaware? One senior officer dismissed the concern. Confidence, yes. But foolish confidence. It will not save them when our strike comes. Still, the questions lingered, small seeds of unease in an otherwise arrogant fleet. On the human ship, crew members monitored these tiny signs. Every movement of the aliens, every change in energy output, was logged, analyzed, and used to build a predictive map. The humans knew that speed and numbers alone could be countered with strategy and timing. They did not need to match the aliens in speed. They needed to exploit every miscalculation, every moment of overconfidence. In the bridge's observation window, the alien fleet shimmered in the distance. The human captain turned to Lyra. "Every test they conduct is giving us information. Note their weak points, record their formations. We do not strike now. We observe, we prepare, we wait for the perfect moment." Lyra nodded, her fingers dancing across the controls. "All systems are running optimally. Shields, weapons, and engines are synchronized. We can withstand their entire advance if necessary, but the strike will be precise when it comes." Elsewhere in the alien fleet, officers were starting to underestimate their enemy too much. "They are slow," one whispered to another. "Surely, they cannot pose a threat to the fleet. A few quick strikes and it will be over." Confidence, as the humans predicted, was blinding them to potential danger. The human engineers, sensing the moment, adjusted the energy shields to absorb minor impacts, rerouted power to defensive systems, and secretly charged the ship's experimental weapons. These systems had been built for a moment just like this, to turn calm patience into sudden, decisive power. The human slow appearance was deceptive. Every meter of progress through space was calculated, purposeful, and leading to a precise outcome. On the bridge, the captain reviewed the alien formations once more. "They rely on speed and intimidation," he said, "but they are predictable. Maintain course. Keep all systems in readiness. Do not panic, do not react prematurely. When the time comes, the strike will be flawless." In the alien fleet, small tactical errors began to appear. Ships that had been perfectly aligned started to drift slightly, officers miscalculated firing angles, and some beams narrowly missed their intended targets. These errors were tiny, almost imperceptible, but the humans detected them immediately. Patience and observation had paid off. The aliens' reliance on arrogance and speed made them sloppy. Below deck, the engineers smiled quietly as power levels stabilized, weapons systems charged, and the ship's hidden capabilities were brought online. "Everything is ready," one engineer said softly. "We just need the signal." Back on the bridge, the captain remained calm, his eyes fixed on the aliens. "Soon," he said, almost whispering, "soon they will learn that speed and arrogance cannot overcome strategy and precision." The alien commanders continued their mockery, unaware that their every move was being analyzed, their arrogance forming the foundation of a trap they could not yet see. They will surrender, one officer said confidently. Or they will be destroyed. The laughter echoed again, but beneath it, tension was starting to creep in. On the human ship, nothing was said aloud. Every officer, every engineer, every crew member knew that observation and patience were crucial. Their calm demeanor was a weapon, their slow pace a deception. They had studied the alien fleet, understood their tendencies, and were ready to exploit every flaw when the time came. The stars outside stretched endlessly as both fleets advanced. The aliens moved with speed and power, relying on their numbers and superior technology. The humans moved with careful calculation, relying on discipline, strategy, and hidden strength. In appearance, the humans were slow, vulnerable, almost foolish. In reality, they were poised, ready, and deadly. The tension in space grew, invisible yet palpable. The aliens believed themselves in control, confident in their speed and dominance. The humans remained calm, every crew member focused on their role, every system primed for action. The stage was set for a confrontation that neither side fully understood yet. And in the quiet of the human bridge, the captain spoke one final time, his voice low but firm. Remember this, everyone, their arrogance is our ally. Their confidence blinds them to the truth. Patience will be rewarded. Precision will prevail. And when the moment comes, we will strike, and they will not know what hit them. The crew nodded, the calm determination reflected in their eyes. The alien fleet continued to close, their mockery filling the void of space, unaware that their slow, overconfident enemy was already preparing to turn the tide. The human ship moved steadily, a seemingly slow target, a fortress on the move, silently gathering the strength that would soon reveal itself. The tension in space had reached a nearly unbearable peak. The alien fleet, confident in their speed and firepower, was closing in on the human warship. Their sleek ships glimmered under distant stars, twisting and weaving as they prepared for the strike they believed would end the encounter swiftly. Laughter and mockery still echoed through the alien command chambers, but beneath the surface, unease was beginning to take root. Inside the human warship, the crew remained calm. The bridge hummed quietly with activity, officers focused on displays tracking every alien movement. Sensors highlighted weak points in the enemy formation, while predictive simulations calculated every possible trajectory, every potential outcome. The humans had waited patiently, carefully studying their opponent. Now, the time to act was near. The captain's eyes, steady and sharp, scanned the holographic displays. "Prepare all systems," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "Their arrogance has blinded them. Precision and timing will do the rest. Remember, our speed is not our weapon. Patience and exactitude are." Lyra, the tactical officer, nodded, her hands moving over the control panels with practiced efficiency. All weapons calibrated, shields reinforced. Hidden systems online. "We are ready, Captain." In the engineering section, engineers monitored energy distribution. They rerouted power to critical systems, ensuring the ship could sustain both offensive and defensive actions simultaneously. Hidden weapons, long masked beneath the ship's bulk, glowed faintly as they came online, their destructive potential ready to be unleashed. Every meter of the ship's slow approach had been part of the plan, every calculation contributing to the moment that was now at hand. The alien fleet, still under the impression that victory was certain, began their coordinated attack. Beams of energy streaked toward the human ship, meant as a warning and a test of strength. The shields absorbed each strike with ease, dispersing energy precisely to prevent damage. The humans did not panic. They had expected this. Every shot fired by the aliens provided valuable information about the range, timing, and accuracy of their weapons. From the observation deck, the alien commanders watched, still confident but beginning to feel a subtle twinge of unease. "They withstand our fire," one officer murmured, brows furrowing. "Surely this should have damaged them." Another officer, still laughing, waved off the concern. It is a trick, nothing more. They cannot survive our main strike. Prepare the fleet. Below deck, engineers adjusted systems in real time, balancing energy between shields and weapons. The massive ship seemed slow and vulnerable, but it was a well-coordinated fortress. Every crew member knew their role, executing tasks with precision, while the captain and tactical officers guided them toward the moment of impact. On the bridge, the captain gave a single command: initiate strike sequence. Target alien flanks. Fire on my mark. His voice was steady, betraying no excitement, no fear. The crew responded immediately, activating the ship's hidden weapons systems. Energy gathered in concentrated pulses, flowing into the experimental weapons designed for precision destruction. The aliens, still focused on their perception of the human ship as slow and unthreatening, failed to notice the subtle changes in energy readings. To them, the humans remained a lumbering target, incapable of delivering real harm. That confidence, that arrogance, was exactly what the humans had counted on. "Mark," the captain said. A flash of light erupted from the human warship, almost blinding in its intensity. Energy beams shot out in perfectly coordinated strikes, targeting the weak points identified in the alien formation. The beams hit simultaneously across multiple ships, creating chain reactions that reverberated through the fleet. Explosions blossomed like fireworks against the dark backdrop of space, tearing through hulls and disabling engines in a spectacular display of calculated destruction. The alien commanders froze, stunned at the precision and suddenness of the attack. Ships that had seemed invincible were now crippled, some drifting helplessly, others erupting into fiery debris. Confusion and panic rippled through the fleet. The arrogance that had filled the alien command chambers moments ago evaporated, replaced by fear and disbelief. The human crew moved with fluid coordination, exploiting every opening created by the first strike. Tactical officers recalculated alien positions in real time, engineers adjusted shields and weapons to maintain momentum, and the captain oversaw every action, ensuring that the strike sequence unfolded perfectly. Every movement, every calculation, reinforced the humans' advantage. On the alien bridge, officers shouted in alarm, trying to issue commands to stabilize their fleet. Beams fired in desperate attempts to counter the human attack, but their speed and confidence had been their weakness. They had relied on arrogance rather than strategy, and now their formations were falling apart. Ships collided, engines overloaded, and energy weapons malfunctioned under the precise onslaught. Meanwhile, the human ship, despite the massive energy release, remained steady. Its shields absorbed minor counterattacks, while the hull, reinforced and resilient, withstood impacts that would have crippled less prepared vessels. The crew worked in harmony, their training and preparation allowing them to execute the strike flawlessly. What had appeared slow and unthreatening now revealed itself as a fortress of precision and devastating power. Flank targets eliminated, Lyra reported, her voice steady despite the intensity of the battle. Main line is destabilized. We have the advantage. The captain nodded. Maintain pressure, but do not overextend. Observe the remaining ships and exploit weaknesses. Precision is our key, efficiency is our weapon. The alien fleet, scattered and panicked, tried to regroup. Officers barked orders, attempting to coordinate defenses, but their earlier arrogance had left them exposed. Confidence had blinded them, and now, hesitation and fear governed their actions. Every move they made played into the humans' hands. In the engineering deck, engineers rerouted power again, ensuring that shields and weapons remained fully functional despite the intensity of the attack. The hidden capabilities of the human ship, long overlooked and underestimated, were fully engaged. Every pulse of energy, every beam of light, was directed with deadly accuracy, dismantling the alien fleet ship by ship. The aliens, stunned by the precision and effectiveness of the human strike, realized too late that they had misjudged their opponent. Their sleek ships, designed for speed and intimidation, could not withstand the calculated patience and targeted power of the human warship. Chaos spread through the alien ranks, officers struggling to issue coherent commands, systems failing, and ships exploding in a chain reaction of destruction. On the human bridge, the captain observed the aftermath calmly. "Focus on retreat vectors and remaining threats," he said. "Do not celebrate prematurely. Maintain discipline. The encounter is not over until we are safe." The crew continued their work, coordinating the withdrawal while ensuring that the human ship remained unscathed. Sensors tracked the remaining alien vessels, predicting their movements and adjusting the ship's course accordingly. The initial strike had achieved its goal, the alien fleet was no longer unified, and their morale had collapsed. The humans had shown that patience, precision, and preparation could overcome sheer speed and arrogance. Outside, space was littered with the debris of alien ships, scattered fragments floating against the backdrop of distant stars. The human warship moved steadily, undamaged, a slow-moving fortress that had revealed its true power at the perfect moment. The aliens had mocked it, called it slow and unworthy, yet it had turned that mockery into a weapon, exploiting their arrogance with deadly effect. The alien commanders, struggling to regroup, realized the truth too late. Their confidence had been their downfall. The humans, underestimated and dismissed, had executed a strike of surgical precision that left them in ruins. The lesson was clear: appearances could be deceiving, and underestimation was a dangerous mistake. On the human ship, the crew allowed themselves a brief moment of satisfaction, but the focus remained on discipline and readiness. The captain's voice echoed across the bridge. "Well done, all. But remain vigilant. We have proven our strength today, but the galaxy is vast, and threats are many. Our advantage is preparation and precision, never forget it." As the human ship moved away from the battlefield, the remnants of the alien fleet struggled to regroup, their arrogance shattered and their confidence replaced with caution and fear. The human warship, slow in appearance but swift in strategy and deadly in execution, had proven that patience, planning, and precision could triumph over speed and bluster. In that quiet, vast space, a lesson had been etched into the galaxy: never underestimate those who appear slow, for their strength may lie hidden, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The aftermath of the battle stretched across the dark void of space like a silent, somber sea. Fragments of alien ships floated slowly among the stars, some still burning from the human warship's precise strikes. The once confident alien fleet was in chaos, scattered in disarray, their formations broken, and their pride shattered. Officers struggled to issue commands, voices tense with disbelief. No one could comprehend how a ship they had mocked, called slow and unworthy, had delivered such a devastating blow. Aboard the human warship, the atmosphere was quiet but focused. The bridge hummed with activity, officers monitoring systems, scanning for any remaining threats, and ensuring that their vessel was fully operational. There was no cheering, no celebratory shouts. Victory had been achieved, yes, but the humans knew that space held countless dangers, and every success was only temporary. Discipline and focus remained the guiding principles. The captain moved calmly across the bridge, observing his crew. Their faces reflected determination, alertness, and pride, but no one displayed arrogance. They had achieved a remarkable victory, but they also understood the cost of complacency. "Status report," the captain said. "All systems stable, Captain," Lyra replied. "Shields, weapons, engines fully operational. No damage sustained. Remaining alien units are regrouping far from our position." The captain nodded. "Good. Maintain course and continue monitoring. We have demonstrated our strength, but the galaxy is vast and threats are many. Remain vigilant." In the engineering deck, the crew carefully examined every system, ensuring that energy levels, shields, and weaponry were fully replenished. Each pulse of energy, each calculation of power distribution had contributed to the flawless strike. The engineers exchanged quiet smiles, a mixture of satisfaction and relief. They had worked together seamlessly, a single unit functioning as part of a larger strategy. Meanwhile, the aliens were forced to confront the consequences of their arrogance. Across the scattered remnants of their fleet, officers tried to salvage what remained of their command structure. Confidence had evaporated, replaced by fear and uncertainty. The once proud commanders now faced the reality that underestimating a seemingly slow, unremarkable ship had led to disaster. Every officer who had laughed at the humans now re-evaluated their assumptions about speed, power, and strategy. Reports from surviving alien vessels were chaotic, filled with confusion and panic. Ships that had escaped the initial strike struggled to form new formations, their energy systems damaged, and their morale shattered. The humans had demonstrated that strength could be hidden, that patience and precision could outmatch speed and arrogance. Lessons had been learned in the harshest way possible. Back on the human ship, the crew quietly took stock of their success. Sensors scanned the surrounding space, confirming that the remaining alien vessels posed no immediate threat. The ship itself glided steadily, unscathed and strong, a testament to human ingenuity and preparation. Each crew member knew that this was more than a victory of firepower, it was a triumph of discipline, planning, and careful observation. The captain addressed the bridge once more, his voice calm but firm. "We have won this encounter. Remember, it was not speed or size that brought us success. It was patience, precision, and preparation. Let this be a reminder of what we are capable of when we work together." Lyra nodded, adding quietly, "and of how underestimation can become a weakness. They thought we were slow and unthreatening. That mistake cost them dearly." Throughout the ship, there was a sense of quiet pride. Engineers, tactical officers, and bridge crew all understood the magnitude of what they had accomplished. The human warship had proven that appearances could be deceiving, that what seemed slow could be powerful, and that strategy could overcome arrogance. As the ship moved further from the battle site, the remnants of the alien fleet tried to regroup. They were no longer laughing, no longer confident. Every commander who had mocked the humans now reassessed their tactics, questioning their assumptions about intelligence, discipline, and strength. The humans had introduced a new variable to their calculations, one that speed and numbers alone could not overcome. The crew of the human ship remained vigilant, scanning space for signs of pursuit or ambush. While the battle had been won, the galaxy remained vast and dangerous, and caution was a necessity. Every crew member knew that victory could not lead to complacency. The success of the strike had been a result of preparation, observation, and teamwork, and those principles would continue to guide them in future encounters. The captain took a moment to reflect quietly, standing at the observation window as the stars stretched infinitely around the ship. "We have proven something important today," he said softly, more to himself than anyone else. "We have shown that underestimation is dangerous. We have shown that discipline, patience, and precision can overcome arrogance and speed. This is a lesson that will echo far beyond this encounter." Lyra joined him at the window, her gaze fixed on the stars. "Do you think they will ever underestimate humans again?" she asked quietly. The captain shook his head. "Perhaps some will. But others will remember. And that is enough. We do not fight to be feared. We fight to survive and to prove that careful planning, courage, and discipline matter more than appearances." Across the human warship, crew members returned to their regular routines. Engineers continued to monitor systems, ensuring that everything remained stable. Tactical officers reviewed data from the battle, analyzing what had gone right and what could be improved. The captain walked among them, offering quiet words of encouragement and guidance. The ship was alive with preparation, vigilance, and the quiet satisfaction of a mission accomplished. In the galaxy beyond, the lesson of the human warship spread silently. Reports from scattered alien ships described the precision and effectiveness of the human strike. Stories circulated among fleets of distant observers about the ship that had appeared slow and unthreatening but had delivered destruction with surgical precision. The humans' reputation, once underestimated, began to grow, not from boastful claims but from the undeniable truth of their actions. The alien fleet, recovering from its losses, was forced to reconsider strategies and tactics. Confidence alone was no longer sufficient. Commanders had to account for ingenuity, patience, and hidden strength. The humans had demonstrated that appearances could mislead, and that careful preparation could turn vulnerability into victory. It was a lesson that would shape future encounters across the galaxy. Back on the human ship, the captain addressed the crew one final time before leaving the bridge for the evening. "We have faced arrogance and survived. We have turned patience and precision into our greatest weapons. Remember this. Every mission, every encounter, every challenge will test us in different ways. But the principles that guided us today, discipline, observation, and preparation, will always serve us well." Lyra, standing at her station, nodded. "And we will continue to be ready. No matter what comes next." As the human warship glided through space, the stars stretched endlessly around it, silent witnesses to a victory hard-earned but quietly celebrated. The ship itself remained massive and slow in appearance, yet it carried a power that had changed the course of the encounter. It was a fortress, a symbol of human ingenuity, and a reminder that underestimation could be a fatal mistake. The galaxy remained vast and filled with potential dangers, but the humans had shown that they could survive, adapt, and triumph. The story of their victory would not be told in boastful cries but in the quiet knowledge of a team that had worked together with focus, skill, and courage. Even as the remnants of the alien fleet regrouped, the humans pressed onward, their ship steady, prepared, and unbowed. The lessons of the encounter were clear: arrogance could blind the strongest, speed could be countered by precision, and patience could turn the slowest vessel into the most dangerous weapon. The captain watched the stars, a calm figure in the bridge's soft light. "This is not the end," he said quietly, "but it is proof that we are capable of anything when we work together and remain disciplined. Let the galaxy see what we are, and let it remember that underestimation is a dangerous mistake." And so the human warship moved onward, a slow but unstoppable force, carrying its crew toward new challenges, new battles, and new lessons. They had turned ridicule into triumph, mockery into opportunity, and patience into decisive power. In the endless expanse of space, the ship's legacy had only just begun, leaving a mark that would echo across the stars for years to come.